It's been months in the making and finally it's here. We'll take you to Davison's fresh new recreation area.
Homecoming week is upon us. We have all of the info about the upcoming festivities.
And the football team took part in what's starting to become an annual tradition. All this and much more is still in store on today's edition of DTV News.
Live from Sandy Coot Studios, it's DTV News. Your local source for news, sports, and student life.
Davison's newest attraction is now open. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Grant Palmentier.
And I'm Alex Windle. The township pulled the cover off the brand new Lake Callis. The project is part of an ongoing expansion that has been sweeping the area over the last 5 years.
Named after the late Bob Callis, the project took just months to create but years to plan, and it finally came to fruition this June.
The snip of a ribbon officially marked the anticipated premiere of Davison's new hotspot. Saturday, June 20th was the day Randy Stewart and his crew's hard work became a reality as the Davison community came together for the grand opening of Lake Callis.
13 months ago, this was a muddy old cornfield, and with the dedication of a lot of guys, we turned it into this facility right now, 13 months later.
The Davison community was overjoyed to have such an attraction become a part of the township.
It's absolutely beautiful. I love that it's so close to home and cheap, and there's so many different amenities that it's fun for the whole family.
I love it. They put so much work into it. The kids are loving it. It's a family-friendly environment, and it's clean.
However, the final product didn't become a reality without a few bumps and bruises along the way.
We had a lot of issues during the construction of it, but it all came together. It was a total relief when we finally got to cut the ribbon and turn it over to the community to play.
Lake Callis is the latest step in the evolution of Davison Township. Over the last decade, there have been many new and growing businesses in the area. Myers in 2008, Menards in 2011, Fernco's new factory behind Lake Callis. And now, within the next few months, a new upscale restaurant will be opening its doors to Davison. Black Rock Bar and Grill is set to open this fall and will be a part of the fast-growing Davison Township economy. Since 2000, the township has seen nearly a 6% increase in population growth. And on top of that, the township is projected to expand by more than 16% by 2035.
Lake Callis not only shows how far the township has gotten, but a sign of what is still to come. Reporting for DTV News, I'm Grant Palmentier. If you haven't taken a splash in the new waters, it will be open as long as it's warm out. Any questions about hours in the pavilion are on the Davison Township website. This year's homecoming is arriving earlier than normal, and that means the game, the dance, and everything in between are just a few days away. Spirit Week kicks off today with the opportunity to show off what decade you're from. Tomorrow is Twin Tuesday, find a buddy to match.
And on Wednesday, it's Jersey Day, whether it be your favorite Lions linebacker or Davison Cardinal quarterback. Thursday is Class T-shirt day, so make sure you get your snazzy shirts before then. They'll be available in the cafeteria all week. And finally, on Friday, as always, the week wraps up with Maroon and Gold Day, so put on your Cardinal colors and get ready for the game. In other homecoming news, freshmen, you are needed to participate in the homecoming parade this Friday. Make sure to swing by Mr. Karan or Miss Slattery in rooms 225 or 268 to get more information. And all students, don't forget to pick up your tickets to the big dance on Saturday. They're $5 at all lunches this week or $7 at the door. The dance will be from 7 to 10 in the evening.
The first blood drive is coming up soon, and NHS wants you to know everything about it. The annual fall drive is scheduled for October 23rd, and the Red Cross will be taking blood donations in the AMR from anyone who is eligible. Remember, if you're under 16, you must get a parent consent in order to donate. Forms are available in Mrs. Heener's room, or you can sign up during all lunches. The blood drive is sponsored by the National Honor Society, but they can't do it without the help of other NHS members. Sophomores, juniors, and seniors with a GPA of 3.5 or above can grab an application from Mrs. Hevener in room 300.
For some of us, it's the last year back to school, but for others, it's only the beginning. The Back to School Blast is hosted by Davison Schools for kids and teens alike to celebrate going back to school. The annual event took place last month and was a huge success, with families coming from all over the city. We asked some of the kids what they were looking forward to most about this school year.
I think it's recess.
Seeing who's in my class and what new stuff we do.
Math.
A wide assortment of answers there, but nonetheless, students have a lot to look forward to this school year. Good luck to all students. Yearbooks keep track of what happens from year to year so you can relive all moments that may have slipped from memory. They're on sale right now, and the yearbook staff needs your payments. Head over to jostens.com or give your $80 to the main office to place your order. Get them in before October 2nd in order to make sure you get one at the end of the school year, whether you're a freshman or a senior. DTV unleashed a new department, and they released something unprecedented in DTV history.
And in sports, Trace Clinton talks about a newfound annual tradition for the varsity football squad. That story and much more coming up after the break.
Homecoming week is upon us here at DHS, and along with it come a few of my favorite things: the parade, powder puff, and of course, school spirit. I'm Trace Clem, but what I have to say I'm most excited for is this Friday night when the Cardinals will host Flint Southwestern once again for this year's homecoming football game. Davison looks to be in good shape and had been preparing for Friday, not just for a few weeks, but for the past few months. Over the summer, the guys were even strapping on pads when most of us were already asleep.
What? Midnight? Coach, I gotta go to bed at that time, you know.
Sorry, Marcellus, not tonight. Officially, Michigan high school football couldn't begin full contact practice until August 14th. Technically, August 14th began at 12:01 a.m. So Coach Zimmerman went with the technicality.
It was to try to, make this a community football program, try to encourage everybody to be a part of it, so it's more of an event than anything else, and we still get a chance to get some work in under the lights, kind of create some energy and kind of connect to the community a little bit.
In his second year of coaching here at Davison, hype has been one of Zimmerman's specialties. The practice was open to the public, and anyone from the community could stop by and get a sneak peek of what to expect from the Cards this season.
Really, this first practice and these first few practices are really important to setting the tone for not only the team but the community and how they view it.
They don't want to waste a second, which is really like the goal. They want to show the energy. They want to get the community into it. They want to show that they're excited to start and that they're excited not just to start but to finish the season.
They've all worked so hard to get to this point, and they're so excited to get out there and play. And as parents, we're all really excited to get out there and watch them.
Among the Crickets, the team is working for more than just the height. This year, Zimmerman is focused on reshaping his team from the ground up.
Our strategy is going to be different. We're not focused on strength and overpowering. We're going to be focused on more technique.
We tried to get better tonight. It was first day of pads is always a little ugly, but we did get better. We're out here, got some work done, and so we'll try to do that tomorrow.
Get inside.
With new ideas come new challenges, and whatever those challenges may be, Davison will find a way.
1, 2, 3, cheers!
The tradition began last year after Zimmerman took over the head coaching position, and as soon as word spread of his crazy idea, it immediately took flight. The community came out to support the guys, and that number of fans from last year was nearly double this time. I think the fans and the guys on the team are ready for anything. But while the football team has been making strides, the volleyball ladies wrapped up their season strong. At the end of last week, Davison and Traverse City met at Bay City Central to compete for regionals. Mariah Vukai takes charge and slams down not just one, but 2 spikes for the Cards. Later on, Maddie Ramoy bumps up to Molly Preisler, who sets up for R. Wilson, who knocks it down. And the Cardinals were on fire. Olivia Bishop took every opportunity she had to show off her height, putting up point after point for Traverse City. Not only that, but their defensive game was just as strong. They were solid, and Davison had a hard time finding a way through. Though things were close each time, the Cards were swept by the Titans. However, great job making it past districts and becoming regional finalists, ladies. You may have noticed the construction around all the athletic fields. Well, DHS is getting a much-needed facelift. Caleb Dell will walk you through all of the upgrades.
The sounds of construction can be heard all summer long while Davison gets the long-awaited updates that were needed here at DHS.
We're actually strategically putting in a parking lot where those old tennis courts were. And then we're moving the tennis courts a little bit further away, kind of to give them their own space.
You know, we've needed new tennis courts for some time now. What happened was 15 years ago, our courts were in really bad condition. So a short-term fix was done called Sport Court, and that was the plastic surfacing going over top of the asphalt and new fencing. The courts are worn down, they're slippery, and the fences have risen, and it's really unsafe and unplayable conditions right now.
It got to a point where the actual tennis courts themselves were deteriorating.
The tennis team isn't the only team getting an update.
And we looked at the score box at the soccer field, which, like the tennis courts, was long overdue for an upgrade. And so we took those, or basically what we decided we were going to do was get rid of the old score box and put in a brand new one rather than just try to fix up the one that's there. The marching band is a huge part to athletics. To the district as well. We wanted to give them their own practice field as well, someplace that they could call home for practice.
These $3.8 million renewals were supposed to be done by the beginning of the school year, but due to delays, now it looks like these updates are expected to be done by the end of this October.
This whole complex is going to kind of become a facelift for the community, for the school, for everybody. So it kind of makes everybody feel good.
Caitlin Abdallah, DTV Sports.
After the upgrades are complete, the school should look good as new with a few more places for teams to call home. And last Saturday and Sunday, Davison hosted the Girls Golf Regional Finals.
We've worked really hard for this, and I'm proud that it's our 7th year in a row going. We've practiced a lot over the summer and during the spring, not just during our season, so that made us work really hard for it, and we just practice every day.
So once again, the ladies will compete in the state finals held at GVSU this year, a tough course for even skilled golfers. The 2-day contest will take place October 16th and 17th. Good luck, ladies. Make us proud. Wednesday night, ladies from the junior and senior classes will partake in one of the most competitive events of the year, Powder Puff. Junior players still looking for something to dig out of a box in the attic 30 years from now can still purchase a t-shirt from Miss Bruce in the athletic office. Be sure to stop by and grab a piece of your glory days. And before I send you back over to the news desk, here's a quick breakdown of this week in the world of athletics. Tonight, the swim and tennis teams will hit the road and look to continue their current win streaks, while the soccer guys try and pick things back up later today and Wednesday after coming off last week's tough loss to Lapeer. Powder Puff will follow on Wednesday, and of course on Friday, the homecoming football game. I'll see you guys there. But until then, I'll hand it back over to Grant and Alex for the rest of your news.
Thank you, Trace. High school doesn't last forever. College is coming up soon for many people, and Davison High School will be a host to many schools this fall. Kicking things off this week will be Grand Valley State and Hope College. GVSU will be in the auditorium at 9:45 in the morning, and Hope will be in the Career Center at 1:30 p.m. Then, on another busy day, 2 more colleges will be setting up shop. Oakland University and U of M Ann Arbor will be back-to-back in the auditorium, with Oakland at 9:30 and U of M at 10:55 in the morning.
Wrapping things up on Thursday will be Cornerstone University, presenting in the Career Center at 9:30 a.m. There are many more colleges on the way. If you're interested, make sure to stay up with DTV for all those upcoming visits. If you're going to college, you're going to need a little bit of money. To kick off the year, the Tower of Scholarships in the Guidance Office is filled to the brim with applications. In fact, too many to list. The first due date rolls around in January, so while you do still have time, there are many to fill out. If you're looking to build your resume or earn those community service cords, then you're going to need some community service hours. The annual Great Pumpkin Run is on Saturday, October 10th. Both setup volunteers and trail guides are needed for the day. Another outdoor event is coming up called Wonderfully Wicked Woods. On October 24th, help is needed for setup, tear down, and help at all the arts and craft events involved. From 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., at least 15 volunteers will be necessary to assist the people in charge.
And lastly, throughout the next few months, St. John's Family Center needs a volunteer or two to man the welcome desk. If you're at least 16 years or older, get in touch with Mrs. Tina Simmons at 810-652-0304 or email her at tsimmons@stjohndavison.org. The Career Center is the hub for all community service things, so take a trip down if you want to know more. The first year of DTV Films is off to a successful start as Department Director Merrick Allum and Kane Peterson released the first feature-length film of DTV's history. The film, called Arcadia, focuses on a couple of best friends taking on boyhood and searching the small up-north town of Arcadia. Here's a small clip.
Watch your head, bud.
So, this is still an operational lighthouse. Inside this little box here is the bulb we use to power it. Yeah, it's 35 watts really, and the reason we use a little bulb is to make sure.
That was again Arcadia, which is available on our website, dtvnews.org, and YouTube. Be on the lookout for more DTV films hitting the big screen soon.
Coming up tomorrow on DTV, we'll have a preview of the annual Powder Puff game on Wednesday. Seniors and juniors, get ready.
This Friday, DTV will be at the Homecoming Parade at 6 and will be showing the homecoming game against Flint Southwestern live at 7. The news doesn't just stop here. Our Twitter and Facebook is updated daily with news, announcements, and other important topics. Make sure to give a follow at DTV_official and like us at DTV News to keep up to date. In addition to these pages, we've branched out to Instagram and now Periscope to give you exclusive, behind-the-scenes content you won't see anywhere else.
To rewatch today's newscast, head on over to dtvnews.org, go to the Watch DTV Now tab, and select the live stream to view today's newscast. While you're there, check out all the new features we've added this year to our website. So you guys, Lake Callis was unveiled this summer. Have either of you had a chance to go yet?
Yeah, I went there. You know, it was a good time. It's a really nice place.
Yeah, I loved it there as well when I went, and it should be an attraction to be around for a long time here in Davison. Well, I'm Grant Palmentier here alongside Trace Clinton and Alex Swindle. Have a nice day, Davison.
Some may never take our natural resources for granted, but one city is fighting to get it. We'll take you there.
It may seem like it couldn't happen to you, but the problem is a lot closer to home than you think.
Plus, get ready to make a splash at the new recreation area coming to Davison. All that and more on today's edition of DTV News. A city's residents who have seen their fair share of struggle, unemployment, crime, and even an emergency manager put in position. Now, the newest threat pours from kitchen spigots and shower heads. I'm Matthew Smith.
And I'm Christian Twing. The city of Flint has had ongoing problems with their water for months. Now residents are fed up and asking, is it safe? And when will this problem be fixed?
Water, a basic need for everyday life. We use it for drinking, cooking, cleaning, and bathing. With Michigan being the Great Lakes state, we take it for granted. But what if that basic necessity was taken away from you?
Flint, a major city here in Michigan that is no stranger to struggle, is now having to fight for a natural resource.
On an Arctic cold afternoon with wind chills reaching -20, Flint residents took to the streets in front of City Hall expressing their concerns, demanding clean water. This protest is in direct response from a notice Flint customers received about the high levels of dangerous TTHM in their water. TTHM, also known as trihalomethanes, are formed as a byproduct when chlorine is used to disinfect water for drinking.
We need something done, and we need something done now.
This water crisis is taking a toll on residents, including Jackie Pemberton, who is standing up for her granddaughter.
I have a 3-year-old granddaughter that we bathe her in Flint water. She breaks out in a rash. We bathe her in her grandmother's water out in Holly, no rash.
To figure out how exactly we got into this mess, we sat down with Flint's mayor, Dane Walling.
Could you walk us through a little bit about how we got to this point?
The city of Detroit, who we'd been a customer of for over 40 years, they terminated our contract. And we had a 12-month window to find a new source or to negotiate a new higher cost short-term contract with the Detroit system. That's what the county did. They're paying quite a good premium for that short-term supply. The emergency manager here at the city of Flint made a different decision.
And that decision, getting water from their own backyards, the Flint River.
The river will act as the city's water source until the KWA pipeline is built. The pipeline is bringing water from Port Huron to Flint.
A year from now, we'll be hooking up to the new water pipeline. We'll have our own source.
We got off the Detroit water, and we're now getting the water from the Flint River. Why can't we go back to the Detroit water until the pipeline's built?
Well, that would be an option. I mean, it's technically possible. The pipes are still connected.
So what do residents do in the meantime that refuse to drink the water? According to the city and mayor, they are okay to keep drinking it.
So the city's given the residents the okay to drink the water, and you and your family drink the water, is that right?
We do, yep. We've used it throughout. Again, I was not aware of the high levels of TTHM.
Neither were residents, and that's why they are demanding answers. Residents are also concerned about the decisions being made without them, including water rates.
I'm concerned about the quality and affordability of our water. We're under an emergency manager situation, so this decision to move to the Flint River was basically made in Lansing with no input from Flint residents, and we really don't have recourse in our local government.
The city's still under emergency manager, and what is the plan moving forward as mayor to work with the emergency manager to fix these problems?
I've advocated for increasing the public information and transparency, because I think customers have a right to know. I've stepped up and asked the governor to make funding available so we can improve the treatment and fix the water system, and do that without putting the rates on our local customers. So I'm going to continue to work with the emergency manager, but I'm also going to advocate for the changes that I think we need.
The pipeline is said to be completed and supplying water to people by June of 2016. But until then, the people will be concerned about the water coming in their homes. Reporting out of Flint, Matthew Smith.
We'll be complaining every day.
DTV News.
Michigan's roads have been crumbling. Now the question is, where will the money come from to give them the attention they need? A controversial bill out of Lansing has been the hot topic for months. It's a bill that promises to fix the roads but raises the taxes by 1%. It also would get rid of the sales tax on fuel and replace it with the wholesale tax. The money raised would go to benefit K-12 schools and also community colleges. It would also give money to Michigan's deteriorating road structures. But some are saying the bill is too wordy. They want a simple bill stating funds would go directly to the roads. Governor Rick Snyder says this is our only chance to fix the road problems, and the safety of our citizens depends on it.
This is about strengthening our economy. This is about being safer. And that's why this is really important.
Are you ready to hit the beach this summer without leaving Davison? Well, grab your swimsuit and get ready to make a splash. The plans for Lake Callis in Davison Township are well underway. The recreation area will include volleyball courts, a beach with swimming area, a splash pad, and tons of other fun. The land was named after the late Bob Callis. The grand opening is set for Saturday, June 20th.
Many high school students drive on a daily basis, but are not aware of the responsibility they take on. Some senior students here at Davison wanted to bring attention to the dangers students may face while on the road. A mock crash was set up in the parking lot of the high school. First responders arrived at the scene of the accident to show students just what goes into trying to save lives after a distracted driving crash. It caused many students to rethink their bad habits while driving.
It absolutely gives you chills. I mean, it made the little hair on the back of my neck stand up, and just a rush of adrenaline and emotion. I mean, even myself, I think you feel yourself wiping back tears or holding back tears, and your head starts to hurt just because of the reality of what can happen with poor decisions is pretty grim, and it's forever. And I hope that by experiencing it today, we won't have to experience it this weekend or this summer.
Coming up next in sports, Caitlin Abdullah will take you inside the journey of Davison's track team.
Find out what goes into becoming a successful track athlete and what it takes to get to states.
I remember it so clearly. I hated losing more than anything. Every loss put me one step closer to going over the edge. And sometimes it almost did. But something else mattered more than winning.
Good game, man.
Thanks. Sportsmanship.
Hello again, Davison, and welcome back to DTV Sports. I'm Trace Clinton here on the desk today, so let's get right to it. Springtime is here, and you know what that means. It's open season for track. Davison's track and field team has been absolutely dominating the competition. DTV's Caitlin Abdullah takes us inside what it takes to make a strong track athlete.
Track and Field 2015. Davidson has some great athletes for all sports, but for track, they put blood, sweat, and tears into trying to get to the top.
Our goal always is to win the conference. After that, our goal is always to just get as many kids to the state meet as possible. You know, we like to break school records along the way, but really our goal is to win the conference and then get as many kids to the state meet as possible.
So the goals are just to get our personal records. So we want people getting all state this year. We want our relay teams, whether it be the 4x4, 4x2 field events or just individual running events. We want people to do the best they can.
After regionals, Davison sent 13 track runners to states where hopefully they can bring home some titles. This year's track team is loaded with college talent. 5 runners have signed off to their colleges and they are all in the same place that 2014 DHS graduate Jordan McDermott was during her senior year. McDermott is a freshman at Eastern Michigan and already has broken 3 MAC records this school year.
I have to say it really helped my senior year. I was at a higher mileage, and over the summer I trained a lot, and I even trained a lot with the boys cross country team here. So it really helped my transition going on.
Jordan wasn't a star from the get-go. She worked to where she got, so I think that the kids saw what it took to be that kind of runner and the kind of time you have to put in, and that certainly has trickled down to her teammates still here at school.
The team will battle it out in Rockford on May 30th for a state championship. Caitlin Abdallah, DTV Sports.
Thanks, Caitlin. Last night, the boys and girls track teams placed second at the SVL Conference Championships. Both teams hit their goals, setting a ton of new personal bests. Great job, guys, and good luck with the rest of your season. Going on at the same time, girls varsity soccer was wrapping up their season as the Clarkston Wolves invaded Cardinal Country. Elena Hilgendorf and Lila Kelsey put in a point for the Cards, each assisted by Casey Wengler. Though despite Samantha Tracy's 8 saves, the night ended with a score of 2-2 on the board, ending the season 10-5-4 for the Lady Cards. Davison will host Oxford next Tuesday, May 26 at 6:30 for the opening round of districts. Congrats on the winning season and good luck, ladies. And coming up later, DTV will be airing the girls lacrosse state semifinals. Grant Palmentier and myself will be on the call, first with the D1 game at 5:30, with the undefeated Midland Dow Chemics squaring off against the Heartland Eagles. D2 starts at 7, featuring the Lake Orion Dragons and the Waterford United Captains. Should be a good time and some good games, so be sure to tune in at dtvnews.org. Well, Davison, that's it for today in the sports world. Thank you all so much for tuning in, but for now, I'll hand it back to Christian and Matt on the desk for the rest of your news.
An AP course is an advanced placement test. It is a course that contains college rigor and college material, and it's taught very much like a college course.
Many students here at DHS are taking advanced placement classes. If you want to take part yourself for next year, schedule an appointment with your counselor today. Students in the classes say it's a big payoff.
I like the AP class because it gives me an opportunity to see what colleges might be like. It's more rigorous and it's faster than a normal kind of class.
It's a frightening problem that many of us don't realize is happening in our own community. Human trafficking. DTV's Hannah Livingston takes us into this modern-day form of slavery.
Well, human trafficking is a very serious issue in modern-day America because it is modern-day slavery.
And this type of crime takes many forms, but has a reoccurring theme.
Human trafficking is when you manipulate somebody, you purchase them, you sell them, you threaten them into commercial sex or forced labor.
This doesn't just affect big cities, the problem is closer to home than you may think.
But you see it in Flint in different ways and in Genesee County in different ways. It's individuals who are down on their luck, who really have nowhere else to turn, who become exploited and are forced to go out onto various roadways and prostitute themselves.
But it is only now that we are changing the way we look at the victims.
It's been with us forever, but we're actually focused on doing something about it now, and that is establish the commission, decriminalize the actual victim of human trafficking, provide the services that are so badly needed.
Teresa Flores, raised in Flushing, experienced all of these horrors firsthand when she was blackmailed into human trafficking as a teenager and didn't even know it.
8 years ago, I went to a conference just like this, and I had no idea that what happened to me was human trafficking. And when I learned about it, it all came crashing in, and it was like, wow, this is what it was called.
Kids in our school took control and forced her to have sex with strangers whenever they wanted.
Traffickers are really good at being manipulative, at convincing people that
this is their idea or that they agreed to it. Again, whether it's labor or sex trafficking.
It happens slowly, and it's how they find that one thing that you're vulnerable.
Threats are often made to victims, making them afraid to tell someone what is happening.
A lot of people say, why didn't you just walk away? Why didn't you just say no or tell your parents? But you have to remember, first of all, I was a kid, and I was scared. I was terrified. They were hurting me physically, and they said they would kill my brothers, and I believed them.
Spotting the warning signs on someone else can also be very difficult.
If somebody comes into a doctor's office, and when they're giving their initial information, they're relying on another person for all their information. When they don't know personal information that they ought to know, that's a telltale sign right there that they're being forced to be in the doctor's office, that they don't really know their own identity because it's been snatched away from them.
Many times victims won't have their own identification. They act fearful when asked a personal question and show signs of physical or psychological abuse.
Initially, oftentimes people don't realize that they're being victimized. By the time they're out of it, or if they're able to get out of it, there could be some confusion, there can be some guilt, there can be depression. Sometimes people experience post-traumatic stress disorder. So those kind of things can linger for a long time.
If you are a victim, there are people who can help. Call 1-888-373-7888 to reach the National Human Trafficking Hotline to make an anonymous report or find help near you. Or you can text HELP or info to be free. If you notice someone who may need help, speak up. You could save their life.
The most important thing they should do is call the police. The police are trained and know what to do, but even telling a teacher, telling a guidance counselor, telling the assistant principal or the principal, everything that you do can help communicate that the issue is there and that we need to focus on identifying those individuals who are the victims.
And experts believe that changing laws and knowing the signs can help put an end to trafficking.
Look out for these things. You'll be helping somebody maybe escape a lifetime of misery. Then you're doing a great public service.
DHS held its final blood drive of the year. Students were able to help save lives by donating blood to the American Red Cross. Over 35 pints of blood were given. This will go to help fill the supply over the summer when blood is needed. Do you want to be up to date on the latest news in Davison? Follow us at DTV_official for all your updates on news, sports, and more. And don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Later on DTV, we'll be airing the DHS Choir Concert, the Davison Middle School Choir Concert, and the Hahn Vocal Concert. If you missed anything from today's newscast, you can go to dtvnews.org and click Watch DTV Now.
What did you guys think of the mock crash? I think it sent a pretty powerful message to students.
Yeah, I got to go see the whole thing out with the juniors and seniors, and I got to watch it all live.
Yeah, it really gave me a whole new outlook on kind of how those things can actually happen. I'm Christian Twing here alongside Matthew Smith, Trace Clinton. Have a great day, Davison.